Last week, last week's lesson and this week's lesson are completely attached to each other. As all of them are, but this one is so much so. Last week we talked about, does anybody remember? Love is not easily angered. We remember that now? Love is not easily angered. And how becoming angry does not bring about the righteousness in which God desires. James 1:19 through 21 says, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Therefore, rid yourself of all filth, immoral, and evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you." Most of us struggle with anger. Why? Why would we not? I mean, think about this. Why would we not struggle with it? Just look at the world around us that keeps us on the verge of anger on a daily basis. From the news we watch, to the social media that we participate in, to our jobs and hobbies and people around us. Everybody's angry. Everybody's uptight. Anger is like a predator following its prey. It hides only one step behind us until it sees an opportune time of weakness. Opportune time of weakness. And then it strikes. But when it strikes, it doesn't leave us held harmless, but it harms others, both emotionally, physically, spiritually, sometimes even physically. Now, fixing the issue is easier said than done. You know, we can talk all day about how do we fix it, right? But fixing it is easier said than done. And it's something that cannot be fixed overnight. But it is something that we can work on every day. We can start today to work on it. Now, when we get angry and we're hurt, something happens in a situation. Does anybody know what happens when we're angry and we're hurt? What happens? Huh? Yep. What else? Yeah, we say things we don't like. But there's something else that happens. We get out this. Huh? Yeah, but we go. You did that? Yep. What? Oh, you did that. Oh. We make a mental note. We keep track of it. It puts a tick in our mind, right? We get angry and we get hurt. One thing that often happens in these situations is we always tend to record it in our mind. We don't write it on a piece of paper per se, but we write it. And we hold a grudge against the other person. You know what it does? It starts a chain reaction of catastrophe of nuclear proportions. It doesn't stop. When we start recording things, does it stop us being angry? When we start recording them, all of a sudden the first one we record is like, okay, what happens when we add the second one? We start getting upset, right? Now we're more upset. And then the third one, and then the fourth one, and then the fifth one, and then the sixth one. I'll tell you what, I've been married to Tammy, 26 years, 7 years, 8 years, something like that. And if I kept a record of everything that Tammy did wrong, I'd be angry with Tammy all the time. If Tammy kept a record of me, we probably wouldn't be married. I've done so many things wrong. That's a good thing. 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 5. I'm going to read you these again. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. It does not boast. It isn't proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. And it keeps no records of wrongs. This week, if you haven't figured out yet, we're talking about how a holy love does not keep records of wrongs that have been done to us. So first, we must ask the question, does God hold mistakes against us? If we do something wrong, does God hold it against us? Yes, no, maybe? Isaiah 43:25 says, it's the Old Testament, right? So we believe it's God, right? We just use the overarching term God, I am. I, even I, am he who blots out your transgressions for my own sake, and remember your sins no more. Psalms 103:11 through 12 says, for as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his love for those who fear him. As far as the east is from the west, so far as he's removed our transgressions from us. But God the Father is not the only one who forgives and forgets. Let me read you a story in John 8:1 through 11. I forgot my glasses somewhere, so bear with me. But Jesus went to the Mount of Olives. At dawn, he appeared again in the temple courts, where all the people gathered around him. And he sat down to teach them. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees brought in a woman caught in adultery. They made her stand before the group and said to Jesus, Teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery, and the law of Moses commanded us to stone such women. Now what do you say? They were using this question to trap Jesus in order to have a basis to accuse him. But Jesus bent down and started to write on the ground with his finger. When they kept on questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, let anyone who is without sin be the first to throw the stone at her. Again, he stooped down and wrote on the ground. At this, those who heard began to go away, one at a time. The older ones first, until only Jesus was left, with the woman still standing there. Jesus straightened up and asked her, Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you? No, sir, she said. Neither do I condemn you. Jesus declared, Go and leave your life of sin. God, as being the Trinity, is one. And when God the Father acts in a way, then the Son and the Spirit follow suit. We know this because Jesus says in John 6:38, For I have come down from heaven not to do my will, but the will of the one who sent me, which is who? His Father, right? John 16:13 through 15 says, But when he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he will guide you into all the truth. He will not speak on his own. He will speak only what he hears, and he will tell you what is yet to come. He will glorify me because it is from me that he will receive what he will make known to you. All that belongs to the Father is mine. That is why I said the Spirit will receive from me and will make known to you. You see how that worked? Father, Son, Spirit. It's this big circle. We're so blessed because God does not hold all of our sin against us. Even the ones that hurt him deeply. I don't know about you, but I guarantee you that I've hurt God very deeply in my life with the things that I've done, the things that I've said, not just to other people, but to him. I guarantee you I've hurt him deeply. But you know what? He doesn't hold grudges or resentment. But he is faithful to forgive. And all we have to do is what? Ask. Ask. We all know that. Sometimes we fail to do it, but we know that all we have to do is ask him, and he's faithful. So how does this play out in our world with our spouses? God gives us this, right? He shows us this kind of mercy and love where you ask for forgiveness, and God goes, okay. And then when we bring it up again, or Satan brings it up again, I don't know what you're talking about. God goes, I don't know what you're talking about. It's gone. I blotted it out. You can't see it. I don't know it. I've removed it as far as the east is from the west. I don't know what you're talking about. We've all had times that we've experienced this deep hurt in our relationships, either with friends, but as spouses, when we talk about spouses. Am I the only one that can say that me and Tammy have hurt each other really deeply? I mean, I'm not saying I'm innocent. I'm just saying that I've done it. We've done it. She's done it to me. I've done it to her. It causes tremendous deep pain and suffering. Everyone internalizes hurt and pain differently when we're wronged. Some tend to bottle it all up inside and become very angry and bitter. Some tend to explode, then destroy. Some tend to remove themselves from both emotionally and physically. Some hold on to grudges and wait for the time to get even. Whatever we may be in these things, one thing is for sure. These do not reflect the holy character of God. Does God get even with us? I'm thankful for that, because I'd be in trouble. Sometimes I wonder if God's going to strike me dead sometimes when I argue with him. But he knows who I am. And he's so patient. We are called to be slow to anger, quick to forgive, and yes, quick to forget. Forget. I hear so many couples, not just couples though, I hear so many Christians tell me, I can never forgive them for that. You know, that makes me cringe when I hear that. I can never forgive them for that. We're not called to do that. Or I can forgive them, but I will never forget what they've done. Has anybody heard that or said that? Is that true forgiveness? What would that look like if God did that to us? Hey, I forgive you, but yet I'm going to keep remembering it. Hey, you know, he's going to keep a tally sheet, right? And pretty soon, it's like 10 minutes later, he's like, oh, you did that. I'll write that down. Oh, you just did this 10 minutes ago. What's wrong with you? Won't you ever grow up? It's a good thing God does not do that to us. Whew. I'd be in trouble because I wouldn't be on the second or third probably. There's a saying. There's an old saying. We bury the hatchet, but we keep the handle sticking out. You guys know this saying? So we bury the issue in the sand, but we leave the handle sticking out. We don't ever really forgive people, do we? We keep tripping over it. Many of us have done this where we say we're sorry and we forgive the other person,